It is the Dragonboat Festival, of which is a long weekend. We plan to join a hiking tour organized by 54traveler.com. It is the first time for me joining a local tour in China. However, I'm super excited as this travel agency was referred by many of my friends in China. It takes more than 6 hours to go from Shanghai to HuangShan, which is situated in the Anhui province. This includes 3 stopovers in highway servicing centers for toilet breaks and lunch. Most servicing centers are very well developed and have a range of stores, including the Dragonboat Festival rice dumpling stores. Stores selling tea and coffee at 10 to 20 RMB, which also sells tasty egg tarts. A canteen which serves a huge range of Chinese food. Even vegetarian can find some good food here. This tray of food roughly costs 90 RMB. During the 6 hours, there are continuous entertainment as well as local knowledge sharing from the 2 guides sitting in front. Finally, we are here at the HuangShan Town Center. We get off right at the town center, and being tourists here, we go straight into the Old Street, which is located within the Tunxi district. Old streets are streets or matrix of streets preserved in historical state for any given town or cities in China. You can find these in a lot of towns and cities. These old streets are tourist attractions, hence every building's ground floor would be stores selling local goods or food for the tourists. Stores differ from old streets to another. HuangShan Old Street stores heavily focus on Buddhist accessories, ink brushes and ink slabs, dried preserved mushrooms and plants, tea, furniture, more brushes and ink slabs with plants, ink slabs with scrolls, gigantic writing brush.
Whoa, this brush is huge.
What could be weirder than a gigantic writing brush for sale? It would be mega ink slabs. I'm sure some people might have bought these mega ink slabs and mistook them as movable bathtubs and bathed in them. Looking to the above, stores have shiny polished store signs. Lanterns are also used for the purpose of beautification of the old street. Very interesting to see that this store had decided that their calligraphy skill plus their minimalist approach on their store sign beats their competitors' ones. We arrive at this beautiful street with nicely decorated buildings at the side. This street is full of coffee shops. We pick a random shop and chill for half an hour. After our coffee break, we will now go for a casual stroll alongside the Shan River. I'm shocked by the fact that I see quite a few people fishing in the Shan River. If you look into the river in detail, you can see that it is quite polluted. One of the most famous dishes in Anhui province is stinky fish. It has this salty and sweet taste. I hope the fish that we had during the trip was not from this river. HuangShan City Center is a very chill place. There are no high-rise buildings and it has a very low population density. Sunset is nice and there are literally no boats nor water sports happening in the river. The river is super calm. Wait, is this what I think it is? An actual person swimming in the Shan River? I wouldn't do that if I were him. It is way too risky to do so. The water is not exactly clean and I see people washing their clothes in the river just now. However, I think it's quite admirable to be doing some sort of other exercises on top of what is famous around here, hiking. Hope this person is fully protected with swimming goggles and cap. Yep, he is. Enough for the day and time to get some rest. Next day, we are set to visit an old village 30 minutes from the town center, Shan Village. Shan Village is a AAAA grade tourist spot. The China National Tourism Administration had graded China's tourist spots into 5 gradings from A to AAAA. There are around 260 AAAA tourist spots and 1,500 AAAA tourist spots in China. Examples of AAAA tourist spots are the Beijing Forbidden City, the Great Wall, and the Shanghai Pearl Tower. It is quite a step down from AAAA to AAAA tourist spots. For 4As, we will be looking at the Beijing Zoo and Shanghai Yu Garden. Back to the Shan Village and the Anhui style building, we see that tiles are used on top of the buildings, piling up, symbolizing buildings in the Anhui area. It looks like someone might have stolen this from China and was rebranded in the 1920s in Europe. There are some nicely maintained pavements within the village. And in this garden-like area, there is this statue of this famous scholar. During the daytime, this might be used to pay respect to this scholar. During the nighttime, however, this is used to scare bandits off the village. How would I know that? Well, going inside this Anhui-style building, we see that they have a yard separating the front and the back of the house. And then there are also 3 reasons as of why this yard is roofless. Firstly, water from the rooftop has to be channeled somewhere, and this is that place. Secondly, it improves on the overall lighting and ventilation. And lastly, it is something to do with feng shui. Water means treasure in the old days, and this channels and keeps the treasure within the house. We also see high walls around the establishment. There are 2 main purposes for such high walls. Anti-theft, and it keeps fire from spreading if the house gets burned down. Looking closer to the internal structure of the building, we can see wooden furniture, wooden beams, wooden rooftop support and frames. If a fire in fact breaks out, it will be hard to control without the high walls. Here we see that there are numerous scholars with the surname Cao that have become recognized scholars, which are all from the Shan Village. The Shan Village has some very nice surroundings, which includes farmlands, river, mountains, fishing boats, fields with cows and dogs, and a goat which is trying to munch on some leaves. We get across the river on a ferry with some stinky life jackets and arrive at some old village with some demolished structures. These plants would not have grown in 1 year time. This was demolished more than a couple of years ago and was kept unattended to. It looks like a small garden in here. This seems like an abandoned house of which we can just go in. Sometimes you can't help but to wonder how these buildings still exist. With so many flammables inside and majority of the structures are wooden. There are even birds' nests in here, which would be the most precious and expensive items within the house. I have had enough of the countryside for now.